The courtroom fell silent as Judge Margaret Hayes called me sir, and Karen Mitchell, the HOA president, froze, her face a mask of shock. That single word shattered her world. But for me, it was a moment of dread, not because of Karen's relentless campaign, but because my hidden identity was about to unravel, threatening the quiet life I'd fought to preserve. To the neighbors, I was just a nobody lingering by the lake. But I was hiding, and Karen's vendetta had thrust me into a spotlight I'd avoided for years. It began 2 months after my divorce from Lisa, finalized at precisely 3:17 a.m., a moment that ended 15 years of marriage. Lisa had called me a stranger, emotionally unavailable, and left me broken. Every night at 3 a.m., I drove to my brother Jack's cabin in Pinewood Estates, a peaceful community with a shared lake. That lake became my refuge, where I sat on a creaky bench with coffee, staring at the water, grappling with my failures. The lake was open to residents and guests, and I was no trouble, just a man trying to heal. Then Karen Mitchell stormed in, a 49-year-old HOA president, her silk robe flapping as she marched across the grass at 3:17 a.m., eyes blazing. Her divorce had left her bitter, and my quiet presence seemed to ignite her fury against men who didn't cower. "What are you doing here at this hour?" she barked. I kept my voice steady. "Just thinking, ma'am." But Karen wasn't interested in reason. "This is private property. Leave." I calmly explained the lake was a shared amenity, but she screamed, "I'm the HOA president. Get out." My polite refusal only fueled her rage. That first night, she called 911, accusing me of trespassing. Officer Jenkins arrived, checked the records, and confirmed my right to be there. Karen's face flushed with anger, but she didn't stop. The next night, she returned with a phone, snapping photos and making another 911 call, claiming I was harassing residents. By the third night, she brought 2 neighbors, accusing me of dealing drugs. Why else would someone sit by a lake at 3 a.m.? The police found only my coffee and a novel, but Karen's lies grew bolder. On the 4th night, at 3:33 a.m., she vowed to ruin me, calling my defiance a threat and dialing 911 again, this time alleging terrorism. Karen's crusade turned Pinewood into a war zone. She posted my photos online, branding me a dangerous intruder defying community authority. The neighborhood split. Some backed Karen's power grab. Others saw her unraveling. I documented everything. Her illegal no nighttime use signs, her poorly hidden camera, her slanderous posts. My calm, meticulous response raised suspicions. Neighbors whispered, "Why is he so collected? Why is he recording like a detective?" Then I met Evelyn Parker, a 73-year-old widow who'd lived in Pinewood for decades. She approached me at the mailbox, leaning on her cane, and asked why Karen was obsessed with me. I confided my divorce pain and need for the lake as a healing space. Evelyn nodded. "I needed a place to grieve when my husband died. Karen's trying to steal that from you." Her support gave me resolve. At an HOA meeting, she confronted Karen, declaring, "This isn't about safety, it's persecution." Her words silenced the room. Karen's tactics grew frantic. She hired a shady lawyer, Victor Klein, to file a trespassing case, certain her HOA title gave her control. I arrived in court with Rachel Wu from a top law firm, her presence stunning Karen and Victor. My legal filings packed with federal precedents and pristine evidence left Victor rattled. "This isn't amateur work," he muttered. Karen's surveillance logs and defamatory posts were damning her case. In court, Judge Hayes tore apart Karen's claims. Karen's testimony collapsed as she admitted her actions stemmed from her divorce trauma, not community welfare. Evelyn testified, exposing Karen's bullying. Even Karen's former allies admitted I'd done nothing wrong. Then Judge Hayes turned to me. "Mr. Reynolds, your legal work is remarkably professional. What's your job?" The room held its breath. I pulled out my federal badge, revealing I was James Reynolds, senior federal prosecutor with the DOJ's Financial Crimes Division, known for jailing corrupt officials and recovering millions for fraud victims. The courtroom exploded. Karen's face went white, her hands trembling as Victor whispered, "We're finished." Judge Hayes stood, a rare gesture, and said, "Mrs. Mitchell, you've harassed a federal officer who prosecutes your exact behavior." She fined Karen $15,000, ordered 300 hours of community service with seniors, issued a restraining order, and banned her from HOA roles. The case was referred for federal review, hinting at jail time. Pinewood changed overnight. Evelyn became HOA president, enacting anti-harassment rules and fostering unity. Karen, through therapy, faced her trauma and apologized publicly, working to mend her harm. I turned down a promotion to focus on community advocacy, inspired by Evelyn. Lisa texted me, seeing my growth. The story went viral, making Karen a national cautionary tale. At the lake, now marked by a bench honoring my stand, Evelyn and I sipped coffee, planning to fight more bullies. A call came a veteran in Florida facing HOA harassment. Evelyn, at 73, grinned. Let's save another community. Real power isn't titles or threats, it's standing firm when you're right, even when the world demands you yield. Evelyn taught me courage is doing what's right, despite fear. Be someone's Evelyn. Fight for justice, because the quiet ones often hold the greatest strength.